It's a historic moment that you are here. It is ordinarily not the case that non-Senecas are in our council chambers, but we are a public business, our government, and this is a matter in which all of our people are affected. I'm thankful that you are well. I'm thankful that we're all here tonight. And I think that when you look at the future, it starts with people. It starts with the people of this nation, and it starts with the people who are the residents of this territory. And that's a very important thing, I think, as we look to the future. But to get started, we need to look also to history. And we have a history together. And I wanted to share with you some thoughts as a backdrop on where we stand with this current dispute as a relation to our historical foundation. As you know, the nation's been withholding 2 years' worth of monies that would otherwise be due to the state of New York that constitutes the state's share of the slot machine revenues generated at the nation's gaming facilities. These monies are considerable, totaling just over $200 million. We have done this because we believe that the state is cheating us. Out of the slot machine exclusivity fees that we paid for under the Class 3 compact we signed with the state in 2002. The details of this dispute are not relevant for our purposes tonight, but as you know, the state's breach has caused the local share of these payments to be suspended. That local share, which is 25% of the monies paid to the state, constitutes almost $8 million per year that would otherwise be paid to the city of Salamanca, Cattaraugus County, and the Salamanca City School District. It's not been the nation's goal to cause harm to the city or city residents, but we have rights under the compact that must be defended. We understand the frustration of the city officials, city employees, and city residents as the result of this action, and we also understand the need for the city's officials to try to raise additional replacement revenues. But the nation should not be maligned for demanding that the state live up to its side of our compact agreement, nor should the nation or Seneca residents be subject to excess fees on our utility service that we view as a backdoor tax that violates federal law. What I would prefer is that city officials not feel compelled to think and act unilaterally to address this situation. Instead, I propose that we put our minds together to jointly try and develop solutions to a problem that affects all Allegheny Territory residents, whether they be Seneca or non-Seneca. Recently, we have tried to do that. To remedy the impact on the affected local governments, earlier this fall, the nation made the offer to the state to make direct payments of the local share funds. This offer was flatly rejected by the governor. We then developed a plan with our local state representatives who support the nation to pursue a legislative fix that would allow these payments to be made directly to the local governments. While it is our hope that this change in the law can occur, it will not happen overnight. So here we are, the Seneca and non-Seneca residents of the Allegheny Territory, sitting together tonight and stuck in an unfortunate situation, not of our own making, with no expectation that the problem will be resolved by Albany anytime soon. What should we do? On behalf of the nation, I'd like to share with you a plan that I believe will not only resolve the short-term problem of the local share payments, but also the long-term question of Salamanca's future status. For almost the entirety of the period that non-Indians have been living on the Allegheny Territory, about over 150 years, the lives of the Indians and non-Indians have largely been separate. You've had your own businesses, your own schools, and your own social organizations. We too have had our own society, and our two groups have had limited social interaction. Over the years, though, especially the last few decades, we have interacted with each other more and more, increasingly at a personal level. Much of this new level of social interaction has been through the school system, which became integrated in the 1960s and which mandated that our children would be educated together. If you are not aware, I want to share with you the perspective of many Senecas that our history together has largely been a painful one. The very existence of the city is itself a painful episode, as its existence reflects an historic effort by non-Indians to take control of our lands. Over the decades, we've been ignored, mistreated, and discriminated against. We've been left out of the economic progress that the city and city residents have enjoyed for most of its history, and we've been made to feel distrusted and unwanted in our own land. When we sought to right the economic wrong associated with the pathetic and inadequate rent that had been paid for city leases for over 100 years, we experienced hostility and resentment from city residents. I share this with you not to rehash old conflicts or to make you feel bad, but to be honest with you that many Senecas have long and deep feelings that must be acknowledged and repaired if we are going to move forward together in a productive way. None of us here tonight, however, live in the past. We live in the present, and if we're smart, with one eye on the future. There's no question that our collective situation and the face of our community has changed dramatically over the last 20 years. After nearly 200 years of poverty, the Seneca Nation and the Seneca people have begun to recover from our long period of economic devastation. We have more private gas and tobacco businesses, and of course the nation's gaming businesses have been a tremendous source of economic benefit for everyone. More businesses are yet in the works. At the same time that this has occurred, the city has continued to decline and lose population. Only as the result of the casino local share payments have city revenues grown. That payment now constitutes a little over 60% of the city's budget. While the city's decline has cynically been suggested by some to be the result of Seneca's removing properties from the tax rolls, the source of this decline is far deeper and structural. As we know, the city's main historic industry, the railroad, is no longer a source of economic contribution. Moreover, the city has embraced unwise development plans over the years, such as marketing low-income housing that has invited the impoverished to our territory and increased the crime and drug problem. That, combined with our rural location and the challenges of development associated with it, lead me to the unfortunate but inescapable conclusion that not much can be done to save the city unless some radical measures are taken to change the current path. And so tonight I'd like to present to you a plan for how the Seneca Nation could provide strategic assistance to help the city of Salamanca at this historic time.